Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick recording of how to do the basic data cleanup and some other bits and pieces. Now this is not, I'm not suggesting that this is absolutely perfect. This is just a really quick run through so that if you're struggling, you can get your head around some of the start ideas. Then you need to go back and have a look at the instructions. You really need to get comfortable and familiar with working through those instructions, because at the end of the day, that is the only way to really get it right. But hopefully this will help, and I'll show you some tricks on the way. So what we're looking at here is we've got our list of all of our variables. Now, one thing we want to take note of, what we're doing is we're just making sure that somebody hasn't stuffed up when they put the numbers in here. So age, that's nice and simple. We know that people are, they don't get older than 100. We know that all of our participants are adults. So when we're having a look at this, we want to make sure that that we're not having values that are outside of that figure. Same with gender. When you click the little blue button here, it shows up the value labels 0, 1, and 2. So when we have a look at this data, when we look at the minimum and maximum, we don't want to find anything outside of this figure. And you just run through and just have a quick flick. You should remember all this. 1, 2, 3 for position, 0, 1, 2 for location. And you can write these down or cut and paste them somewhere so you remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for team. Job satisfaction 1 to 9, and then for all of these all operate on the same Likert scale, so 1 to 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at all of our data, and we're going to identify what the minimum and maximum is. And by doing that, it's going to allow us to see where there are problems. So we go analyze, descriptive frequencies. Are there more than one way of doing this? Yes, absolutely. This is just one way of doing it, end up with the same results. So what you'll find is a list like this. You've got all your variables to the left. So what we want is we want to have a look at all of them. So we click on the top one, and then we scroll all the way down to the bottom, press shift, click on 52, flick it across by pressing that button. We press statistics. All we're interested in is the minimum and the maximum, because that's going to tell us whether things fall outside of the norm. And we go continue and OK. All right, so what we are interested in, I know this is a long and daunting table, is this one, because this tells us the minimum and maximum. So what I would do, just to keep things really simple, is I'd right click and press copy. Then I would open Excel and then go Control V and paste it there. Now the reason I do this is because the things you can do in Excel that you can't do in other in SPSS. So colors make my life heaps easier. So if we're thinking age, minimum 18, maximum 200, we've got a problem. So let's highlight that one. We're going to go back and have a look. Gender, minimum 0, that seems reasonable. Maximum 11, problem there. Position 1 to 3, not a problem. Location 0 to 2, not a problem. Team 1 to 5. Job satisfaction -10 to +10. Both of these are a problem, okay? Because remember it was from 1 to 9. Question number 1, 1 to 7, that's a problem. So we know we've got a score in there that's 7 and it shouldn't be. Then when we have a look across here, we've got 33. Have a quick scan through. It doesn't matter if your minimum is 2, just means that no one's rated it as 1. You're just looking for things outside of the scale. Now we'll scroll across to make sure we get them all. There's lots of them. Scroll across 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. That all looks good. And yep, there's one here, 21. Okay, now let's just have a double check that none of these are negative or 0. Okay, it all looks good. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yep, that's fine. So just be really thorough. You don't want to miss anything because these data points are wrong. So what this tells us is that we've got a problem with age, job satisfaction, question 1, question 5, and question 51. Okay, so you need to go through and find those points. They might be different for you. My data is not necessarily the same, so don't assume that you're going to find exactly the same points. Then what we need to do is, you might want to note this or just flick between the screens, is we're going to have a look in age for number 200. Now remember that this data set is huge. So when you have a look at it, pop it in data view, you've got heaps and heaps and heaps of participants. You don't really want to be trawling all the way through here to find the one that's wrong. So we know that age has a problem, and we know that that problem is the number 200. So we're just looking for that number 200. So what you do, if I can remember off the top of my head, is you highlight age by clicking on the top category, go edit, find. Now what are we looking for? Yep, that's right, we're looking for the number 200. Find next. Okay, now it highlights it. Now for age, we don't actually know what age it was, so we're just going to delete it. Okay, now if we go back and have a look, so we've dealt with that one. When you're doing data analysis, it's a really good idea to keep a track of things. So once you've fixed it, change it to a green. Then you've actually, if you save this, you've actually got a record of the changes that you've made, and you know that you've actually fixed it. So gender, we're looking for number 11. So highlight there, gender, go into here, number 11, nice and simple. Number 11, it highlights it. Then gender, so if it's number 11, yes, we could kind of guess male or female, but you're 50-50 right or wrong, so I would get rid of it. And it just becomes missing data then. Again, now we're looking for -10 and +10, and I'm pretty sure when you search for just 10, both of these will come up. Let's have a look and see. Wrong one. So, what was it? Job satisfaction. We're looking for 10. Find next. Okay, so we know that this is a problem. We delete it because we don't know what it was. Now, if you had a paper survey, you would actually go back and have a look at the paper survey just like Palant says, but we don't have that. So let's just go find next and see if there's another one. Yep, it's showing up the -10. So we're just going to delete that one as well. All right. So that's your initial individual difference type characteristics, right? So there's a different process to deal with the question 1 through to 52. So let's go back and have a look. What have we got? So let's highlight those and go green. We've dealt with those. Okay. So in question 1, what we know is that we've got an item in here that's 7. So let's go and find it for starters. Not that one. We've got an item that's 7 for question number 1. Highlight question number 1. 7. Find next. Okay, so there it is. Now, we're not just going to delete it, because what you will know that we're going to do is that we're creating subscales. So we're going to get 4 items and we're going to add them together. And if this is missing, then we have a problem. Now there's a way around that, but basically when you have a look at the instructions for this particular assignment, what you'll find is that there are very specific instructions on what to do with missing data. And what it says is, it says that you should have a look at, identify which one it was. So we know that this is case 49, and then you find the other points in that are in that same scale, and you get the average of those points. So let's see if we can find the document that talks about that. Oh, okay, RPB. So we can find it. Whoops, admin and scoring. Okay, so you've got this document. There's no secrets here. Now this is our, what we're going to, how we're going to bring these items together. So at the end of the day, assuming that everything works out in the next stage, we're actually going to create a sum of 1, 13, 25, and 37 as the list goes on, right? You've all done this in class. But when we're having a look at this, what we need to do is we need to go, okay, so where does item number 1 fit? Let's go back and have a look. So number 1 fits with this independence category. So what we need is the average of 13, 25, and 37. Now, just be thankful that you're not missing too many data points, because this can be a pain, but we're going to find the numbers for 13, 25, and 37 for this category. Okay, so let's just delete this one for the moment. And remember, we're on 49, so 13, we can get rid of him. 13, so we'll take a note of that. 4, I'm going to write it down because there's no way I'm going to remember otherwise. So 4, just make sure you get it right. Always double guess yourself. I know it sounds pedantic, but just go back and double check. Don't rely on your memory. 25 and 37 are the other ones we want. So we're going to scroll across to item 25 is a number 4, that makes it easy. And I think it was 37, let's double check. Yep. 37, So we're going to find number 37, it was number 4. And that makes it easy because the average of those 4 items is quite clearly 4. So we're going to replace the missing score with the average. So remember that these scores are all measuring very similar things. So to replace it with the missing score of 4, that works out okay. It gives us an estimate of how it fits together. All right, that's the first one. And again, let's show that we've fixed it. Question 5 is 33. Let's have a look. Yes, I know that this can be tedious. It's probably tedious just watching me. So question 5, let's highlight it, go edit, find 33, find next. Okay, we found it. So let's delete it. Now we have a look at our WAPS survey. 33, where is it? Let's see if we can find it quickly. Okay, so it's this one. Security, 9, 21, 33, and 45. So I'm just going to write that down, 9, 21, 33, and 45. So again, we need to take the average of those 3 for this particular person. Okay, so question number 9 is a 5. Question number 21 is a 5. Geez, they're making it easy for us. Question number 45 is, lo and behold, a 5. Anyone would think someone did that on purpose. Okay, so we don't really need to do any calculations, but the answer is 5. Good. Back to SPSS. And that one's done. Now, you don't need me to go through the other one. You can work that out yourself. Okay. So, what are we going to do next? All right. So what we should find now, ignoring that last one, is that when we analyze it again, so we go analyze, and it is good to double check just in case you miss one, analyze descriptives, exactly the same process we did last time. Select all of them, pop them across, options, minimum and maximum. Oh, I'm doing it a different way, look at that. Analyze descriptive frequencies. We've got all of them in there still. Statistics, minimum and maximum is still selected, continue, okay. Now when you have a look, make sure you get the right one. Okay, so when we have a look at this one, we go across and we go, okay, so our maximum is now 65. That sounds far more reasonable. What was the other one? Job satisfaction is now 9. So see, they're fitting within normal now. Now, obviously, I haven't fixed the last one, so we still have a problem over here, but that's not a big deal. All right, so that's the data cleaning process. So you need to go through, your numbers aren't necessarily the same as mine, you need to go through and identify which of these items have missing data, and then have a look at the WAPS questionnaire, so these instructions. And then you'll see here, it's actually got instructions for how to deal with the omission. So this isn't me just making things up. Create the mean of that. And round it off to the nearest whole number. So, yep, all right, so that'll do for the moment. So that, in theory, should leave you with some clean data. So make sure you do that before you move on to the next step.